Here we are.
Hi, guys.
What's up, you guys? Good morning.
Good morning.
We got 3 people.
Yes, we did.
Live.
We got this good to go.
This is good. We're going to have fun. We got to make sure we don't bump the table because then the camera wobbles. We'll stay back here. All right. Very cool. How are you guys? Good morning. This is Angela Marie in the morning with my co-host, Rachel Vermeulen.
Yes, she said it right. Yes. First time for everything. Yes.
Poor Marcus. Marcus.
Got to join us.
Oh, boy.
Marcus Rydell is our guest this morning, and we're going to be talking about true, authentic leadership. So hopefully you guys can hear us okay. Please drop something in the chat where you can say, hello, good morning, Paul. Just let us know that you can hear us this morning. We are streaming live on Facebook and YouTube, my fan page, my personal page, Rachel's page.
Yep.
We are live. So say hi to us in the comment section. We would love to hear you guys comment live if you are watching us live. And if you're watching the replay, go ahead and put down #replay. Hit all the likes and loves. Let's boost the algorithms, you guys, this morning. And let's get a message out to people that need to hear it.
Exactly.
So every Wednesday morning, live at 8:45 Eastern Standard Time. We are live. Like I said, streaming on live on Facebook and YouTube. And I think I said live like 3 times. So
how many times can we say live?
Tina goes, good morning, nice hat. What? Oh.
My O's.
Oh,
Sweet.
Marcus's hat. See, there you go.
I'm like, wait, who has a hat on?
I always have hats.
We're observant here in the morning at 8:45 in the morning. Talk about leadership.
Leadership and
Yes.
leaders have to have coffee. I'm just saying.
It's
Well,
true.
y'all have your coffee?
Yes.
Everybody's got their coffee.
Yes.
All right, cheers.
We're good. Cheers.
There's nothing in here, just coffee and creamer and sugar.
We swear.
Could use some
Nothing else.
Baileys.
No.
No Baileys.
Not yet, anyway.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
It's true.
This is true. Somewhere around the world.
Not for me in the morning. No, we're good. We'll go on to something else. It's the morning already.
Oh, I love it. Okay.
So,
Anyway, so this is my morning show.
yes.
Special guest, Rachel. For those who are just joining us, Rachel Vermeulen is my new co-host.
Hi,
And we have a special guest today, Marcus Rydell.
Yes.
Morning.
And we're going to be talking about true, authentic leadership this morning. So I guess we can get started.
Yes, absolutely. So what we want to know is, you guys can write it down in the chat box as well. What do you think true, authentic leadership would look like? In your past experiences, what has that done for you? How has that benefited for you? Or if you were in a leadership position, what did you do to lead other people? Or in what situation or circumstance was it that you led other people? So you can go ahead and write that in the chat box or text box as we discuss what real authentic leadership looks like. You can actually think about people in your past, people who are in your life right now. What does that look like to you? And that's what we're going to be discussing as well.
Awesome. If you guys see a shadow, by the way, in the background, I'm segueing for a minute.
Yes.
It's not a ghost. I promise. It's Rachel's shadow.
Yes, it's mine. Sorry, I'm reflecting in the background.
We're going to be breaking it up a little
Yes.
bit this morning, so that way you guys aren't like, I'm bored, I'm falling asleep. Especially for those of you that are in Pacific time, Mountain time,
Yes.
even Central. It's only 7:49 there. So
It's too early. But yeah, so when we're talking about leadership, what characteristics, what quality makes for a great leader? So Marcus, if you were a leader and you were in a leadership position, what would make you a great leader?
Actually, the great thing is because I actually am. In the volunteer fire service, I'm an engine lieutenant. I do my Civil War stuff where I'm a leader also, and I've been a leader within the military, and I've also, been under a leader. So you get a great time to judge people and learn things. And one of the greatest things that I learned as being a leader is especially an authentic leader, you need to admit your own faults. So if you screw up, you need to own up to it.
Yep.
That's key number one. And the other thing is that they live up to what they stand for.
Exactly.
You have a leader that is living up to what they stand for. you know, actually, I'll put a plug out there right now. You know, Doug Mastriano, Senator Mastriano,
I was waiting for it to come on.
Right?
I mean,
When does he not come
Especially
up in our
since,
conversation? Right?
especially since I've been around the Colonel quite often and listening to him talk, he lives his life by what he says.
Exactly.
He's led that life in the military. He knows how to, he had a story the other week where, he had a bad soldier.
Okay.
Guy wasn't a bad soldier. He just needed more guidance. So he kind of took him under his wing and helped him become a better soldier. And if you get to that point, you're kind of on that edge.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't turn around, okay, it's time for you to go find something else to do.
Exactly. Love how you plugged in his name. There you go, Doug.
It's perfect.
Yes.
So I think, you know what? We are all in leadership positions.
It's true. We are.
We all are. So Rachel, I'm actually going to have you share next.
Awesome.
What leadership position are you in, or were you in your past, but you still have a leadership role in the home?
That's true. That's right. So in my past, if you guys are watching the previous shows, I've been an educator for the past 16 years. So when we're talking about leadership, we're talking about how is an educator the leader of a classroom, and how can you gain that respect from your classroom, and how can you gain that respect from students? So when we're talking about leadership qualities, we're talking about, okay, how can you be a role model? How can you set the great example for your students? How can you provide for a positive learning experience for your students? So there's lots of different ways you can be a great role model, great example, great leader, and have all of those characteristics and qualities when you step foot inside that classroom setting. Now, as she was talking about leadership qualities in the home, you're also the wife and you're the mother as well. So you need to have great leadership qualities as it becomes when you're a parent. You need to set that great example for your child, for how you raise them. And let me tell you, it's a struggle at times. I'm not going to lie. In order to provide that great example, depending on the day. I mean, Angie's heard my day yesterday. But in order to just be a really great leader is being that person that child can look up to, being that person that child says, yes, you're setting a great example, and just being somebody that somebody looks up to. So when we're talking about that leadership, not only as an educator, but as a parent, as a wife as well, being there for your spouse, providing all those qualities that you need in order to be there to support them. And then Angie, I know with your businesses that you provide great leadership. So let's talk about yours.
So for 19 and a half years, I've been in network marketing and direct sales, leading teams, training. I was a part of the leadership team, hosting training calls, hosting presentation calls, and leading a team and helping other people. And about 2 years ago, I decided to become a coach. And I'm now a transformation coach and working with people on mindset, which is not perfect. Rachel knows that from last night. My car wouldn't start and I was mad. But you know what I love about that though, is that when you understand mindset and when you go through experiences, that's being authentic. That's being a true leader, because you can go through things and then correct it at a fast pace, and then people see that.
Exactly.
Like this morning, how was I this morning? I was like, I got this. Like, even though we're running behind, we were still on time for the show. And
she was in control. So you never let anything spiral out of control when you're a leader. So.
Right. Exactly. You take the lead and well, let's give an example of that. This morning, we talked about that. I woke up this morning and I was like, okay, I got to take the lead on this. I've got to figure this out. Why? Because I'm the only one that can do it. So I picked up the phone, I called the dealership, and, I don't really know if the guy was so nice. I'm not going to say who it was. I'm not going to do anything like that. I mean, and the reality is that he could have had a bad day. But the reality is, in that moment, I had to take the lead. I mean, he couldn't tell me if it was covered under warranty. He couldn't tell me if the towing was covered, nothing. I was like, okay. Basically, he told me to figure it out and call the towing company myself. So I did. So what did I do? Take the lead, took authority in the authority position, and I got it taken care of. And now the tow truck is on its way. I think I got a text as we were all on this phone, or not on the phone, but on the live stream. But the reality is that you have to take the lead in some cases. Not everyone knows how to lead in an authentic way. Right. And I can tell I'm going to have to lead the way probably the rest of the way, as they have my car in the shop, and being on top of it, and just taking that lead, right?
Exactly.
And so even like right now, I'm actually coaching a group of 8 women.
Okay.
It's so exciting. I love it. They're amazing people.
Wow.
Huh?
I'd be like, okay, I'm out of that group.
It's 8 women. I don't know, Marcus.
4 more.
You're with 2.
Yes. And he's already, this is too much. This is too much.
Yeah, I'm done. But it's amazing. It's really, really awesome. And we worked on mindset, how to reprogram your subconscious. And again, in being that and having that authenticity that you can be yourself, speak out your faults, you know, and where you've fallen short. And that makes you a real leader, because the reality is that if you act like you're perfect all the time and that nothing ever goes wrong, that's fake.
Yes, it is.
You know,
That's not somebody that you would be drawn to. That's not somebody who you would say, hey, by the way, I'm going to come and support you. That's
Exactly.
not at all. When you're fake, you know, people can see right through that. Yes.
I see some comments here. David Robertson says, oh, I need glasses, man. Hold on, let me get into the camera. Before authenticity, I didn't like who I was because I don't respect fakes. Authenticity gives you confidence. I like that.
Yes.
Leadership starts with healing yourself.
Yes, it does.
I love it.
That's very good. Yes, definitely. And I'll be first one to speak out on that. After I decided to leave the teaching profession, I was really lost. Like, what am I going to do? Like, how that was the only place I really had, honestly, besides the home life, but a leadership role is in my classroom setting. Like, once I got into the classroom setting, that was it. Like, I knew I was in charge. I knew I got this. That was the one thing I knew I was assured of. 110%. You get me in front of kids, you get me in front of a classroom, I got this. I was in control. I was the leader of that classroom. I understood everything that was happening and what was to occur during the day. You removed me from my comfortability zone, and that's when everything started to fall apart. I was unsure of myself, like, what am I going to do? Where am I going to play the leadership role now? I had no idea where I was going to go. And then, like we talked, 2 weeks ago, God led me on this path, and look at now, all kinds of different leadership roles. So it's very funny where the Lord takes you. And how many leadership opportunities he does provide, even when you think there is none. So definitely stepping out of comfortability and still being able to take control. That's great characteristics and qualities of a good leader.
Also, leaders follow other leaders. I think that's really important. You know, true authentic leadership to me is that you aren't going to always be the one to lead. So the leaders that are out there, and I'm not saying that if you're a leader, you need to be a follower, but the reality is there's certain situations and circumstances where you need to follow another leader, depending on what position you're at, right? Like what area in your life that you're in. And leaders can also work together. Ones that have to compete against each other, they're going to butt heads, right? So you have to be humble, humble leadership.
Oh, definitely. I mean, you look at all the different roles in leadership. I mean, when people think of leadership, primarily they think of elected officials. You know, they think of the president, they think of the governor, they think, you know, military, you know, the generals, you know. But there's a lot of people underneath that. Plus,
or they think of CEOs.
You got that outside sector.
Managers.
Exactly. And supervisors.
Yeah.
You know, so you have to look, you know, how does your supervisor treat you? Is he a good leader? I mean, does he work with you? Does he talk to you? You know, is he on your level? Is he out there willing to do the same job you're doing? You know, that's what really makes a good leader, when they're looking at it saying, okay, I don't have a problem coming out there and doing the same job you're doing.
Right.
Because you need to lead by example.
Exactly. Lead by example. I love how you stated that.
That's true.
I mean, who do we look up to? Who are our heroes? Who would we follow lockstep with? Those are examples of good leadership and who are good leaders. And like you said, Doug, I mean, that's why there's a lot of people who are honestly drawn to him. He's a great leader. He has all the qualities that people usually have on their checklist. I go, okay, he's transparent. Great. All right. He's honest. Okay, check. I mean, he leads us. Check. All right. So, I mean, honestly, there's so many different characteristics and qualities that make, like you were saying, Doug Mastriano, a really great leader. Why there's a lot of people who are drawn to him. I mean, or think of past employers or past people that you work for. There's going to be some where you say, no, they were not great leaders. And then those people usually end up quitting or leaving the job and finding something else. In my experience, administration, they're supposed to be our leaders. They're supposed to be leading the way. They're supposed to be helping us. They're supposed to be setting the great example.
Yep.
There was a lot of administration that was horrible. And I said,
Mhm.
absolutely not. You guys are not great leaders. And I would end up leaving the position to search for other leadership, that would be a better fit for me and who I can look up to and really work well with. And then there were other positions when in my teaching career where I had great leadership, great administration that I worked with, and I stayed. So difference, people will stay with a great leader.
Right.
When you don't provide great leadership, that's when people tend to waver, falter, and end up being miserable and want to leave.
Exactly.
So when we're talking about providing good leadership, it's not just for, like you was saying, elected officials, it's for your actual job in your actual life. And if you are following or, being with a great leader and having those characteristics and qualities, you end up leaving. And that's not something that we should be a part of at all.
And that also holds true to volunteer organizations. So
Right.
you look at your American Legions, you look at your Lions Club, and with myself, you look at the volunteer fire service. In the volunteer fire service, it's a different world. I mean, because we're doing stuff at the drop of a hat. You're woken out of bed at 2:00 in the morning to go put out a fire, go cut somebody out of a car. So that's a constant leadership thinking, pre-planning. Okay, you're going to the call. Okay, what do we have? Okay, what's going to happen if I do this? What will happen if I do that? But then you also have issues within the fire service of guys that have become leaders
Right.
because, and this is the problem years ago in the fire service, because they bought all their buddies a drink in the bar, the fire company, to vote them as the fire chief.
Okay.
They have no experience of being an officer, but they can buy people drinks, so they got thrown in there. So
Right.
you want to look at your leadership as people that have worked from the bottom up.
Right. Exactly.
Exactly.
It's the same way in the military. I mean, I hate plugging Colonel Mastriano, but he's a prime example. That man just did not become a 30-year colonel for nothing.
Yeah.
He started from the bottom, worked as an officer in the trenches, studied, worked hard, led men, and continued his growth.
And now look at him.
Yeah, you look at a non-commissioned officer. You look at a sergeant or something in the Army or a petty officer in the Navy. They started as that recruit through boot camp.
Yeah.
Dug in and learned their role, what they're supposed to do, learn their job, and kept advancing forward and kept bringing men or women with them and moving ahead in their career.
Right.
So they make a better career for the people underneath them. I've always said that I feel the best officers in the United States military are the people that start off as enlisted.
Exactly.
Because they've been there as those as in modern world, blue collar workers that have worked hard. They went to officers candidate school, graduated, and now they're an officer. So they've been there as the lower guy. So they treat those guys better than, no offense to any lower class officers, junior class officers, but that went to the West Point or went to the Naval Academy, or went to college or ROTC, became a commissioned officer, but they weren't in the trenches with those guys.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what we always say as teachers is we love administration and we love principals who were previously teachers because they know what we're going through. They have more sympathy. They have more empathy for our situations and what we deal with in a day-to-day classroom situation. But those principals who have never been a teacher and just graduated college and went off and just became a principal, totally different aspect, totally different management style. So you're absolutely right. So I can speak to that with leadership in my experience as well. Totally different scenarios when you have experience lower before you graduate to higher,
Right.
get promoted.
And the other thing is,
go ahead.
another thing you have to be as a good leader is you have to be a good listener.
Yes.
Without somebody that can talk to them without sounding condescending.
Right.
You take their issue at heart. You try to figure out a way to work through it without trying to make them look bad, even if they are on the wrong end of the stick.
Right.
You still need to encourage them, not put them down.
Communication's important too.
Yes. Having great communication skills.
Yeah,
Yes.
open and often is how you should communicate with your people
Exactly.
in any role.
And like you were saying,
100%.
not condescending at
Yes.
all. Being open to suggestions as well makes a great leader.
Makes it, well, I know it makes a great leader too. With when you talked about, I'm going to kind of piggyback on that, Rachel, and that is, actually, when you say, okay, we saw true authentic leadership. I just lost my train of thought because
That's
I
okay.
saw like people. Hello, Christine. I saw her pop on. I'm like, I need to say hi. So let me piggyback on that.
Yes.
And I just totally lost my train of thought.
I pour coffee.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
I'll
True
go make
authentic
some-
leadership. Hold on a second. Communication. It was along those lines. Gosh, do you guys ever do that?
All the-
Just you were
all the
going to
time.
say something
All
and
the
then you
time.
completely forgot.
Well, I got all the. I'm had two people talking in my ear, and I'm like, wow, that's a really good point. And then I thought of that. You think of something, and then all of a sudden you're like,
Oh.
wait a second.
Must not have been that
It's a once-
important. if it was
Yeah,
good.
I don't know. Oh,
It came back.
I got it. So leadership is not micromanaging,
Yes.
not micromanaging, and being able to, when I say micromanage, like telling people what to do and being rude about it, right? Instead of saying, hey, can you please go, you know what I mean? And actually directing them in a loving way, but in a strong, you know what I mean? Like a strong leadership role. Another thing that I wanted to say was when we talk about not condescending, not putting people down.
Yep.
That's where I was going to go with that was this irritates me in network marketing, being 19 years.
Okay.
I can't tell you how many people, leaders will put someone down, meaning, oh, well, you're doing this wrong, this wrong, this wrong, and this wrong. Instead, how about constructive criticism,
Thank you. Yes.
right?
Mhm.
So, hey, you know, I'm really proud of you for this, this, and this, or whatever it is that you can point out, because I think the reality is that we all have good qualities. We all have good things that we're doing right, but automatically there are too many people out there that call themselves leaders that are putting people down first.
Exactly.
So instead, how about we point out the good qualities and what they're doing right? And then say, you know, here's where I think, you know, you can improve on X, Y, Z, or whatever it is. That's actual, real, authentic leadership. And that is also, you're not going to get, that person is not going to be defensive, right?
Right.
Because you just built them up
Mhm.
and you opened their mind to, I really want to listen to this person, right?
Yes.
So we are automatic as people to just point out people's idiosyncrasies or whatever, their flaws, and say, okay, well, you're doing this, this, and this wrong. Whereas you can say, you're doing this right, but here's where I think we need to work on it. And I really, my hope and prayer is that people start
Yes.
to do that. Because could you imagine the leadership within our country in
Mhm.
every
Yes.
area, regardless of your leadership position?
I agree. And if you think about who we elect and who we are drawn to,
Right.
each one has a different leadership quality that we are seeking. So whether
Yeah,
it
don't be a dictator.
Yes. Do we know who we're talking about? Do we?
Hypocrisy is
Why not?
another
Yeah.
one.
Hypocrisy
If you
is
are,
a big one.
you think you're a leader and you're going to be a hypocrite, you're going to say this that one time, and then the next time you're going to say this, and then the next time it's going to be this. You have to be consistent in what you do and what you say, and how. I mean, you're gonna, and not only that, but then lead by example. So if you're going to do and say something, then you better be doing it yourself.
Exactly.
And
Do
you
as
know,
I do, not as I say.
exactly. We, you know, I don't want to go completely politics on here, but oh man, there is some really crappy leadership in
Mhm.
government, you
There is.
guys.
And it trickles down.
Crappy.
It's the trickle down effect. And
Mhm.
it's ridiculous because it affects every facet of everybody's life.
Mm-hmm.
When you have an individual who is an elected official who is in charge of a certain set of government and they're not a good leader, how does that affect your everyday life? I mean, seriously, stop and think about it.
Mm-hmm.
When you have somebody who, like as she was saying, who is a hypocrite, who does not stand by what they promote and what they say,
Yeah.
of course, it's going to have a trickle down effect and affect negatively everybody underneath them.
Mhm.
So when we're talking about having great leadership qualities and great leadership skills, this is who we're looking for and who we want to elect and who we want in office. So if I'm just going to say we as a collective people are electing people who don't have these good qualities, then what do you expect out of your everyday life?
Yeah.
You're going to get what you vote in.
We need to be
Same.
mindful
Yes.
at who we elect for our leaders,
Oh yeah.
Amen.
right?
Yes.
Take a step back and have an open mind and look at what is their track record?
Yes.
Who are they? You
Mhm.
know, how are they leading or not leading?
Yes.
right? And really pay attention. It doesn't matter. And because I'm not going to go either party here.
Yeah.
What I'm going to say is that I don't care what party you're in at this point, you guys. This isn't about bashing a party, but this is about understanding true, authentic leadership. Do your research.
Yes.
Stop watching the media and the news,
Yes.
and be a leader and follow, like, make your own decision.
Yes. Don't
Right?
let anybody influence your judgment and how you feel.
And
Right.
Exactly.
That's like the last 2 days. I've been watching the Senate hearings of Amy Coney Barrett.
Okay.
I
Mhm.
do not watch them on CNN. I do not watch them on Fox. I go to C-SPAN.
Okay.
Exactly.
Because
Yeah.
C-SPAN, yeah, they're a little, I mean, they're not as extreme on a bias one way or the other.
Right.
They try to
But
stay in
they're
the middle.
better.
They're better than the other ones out there. So you don't have the commentators bumping in and out, oh, well, and that's the best platform I found to watch anything that's going on because, and not getting into parties, from a prior military experience, the president is my commander in chief. He is my president, no matter what side of the aisle you're on.
Yes.
And there's things I've liked that our president has done. There's things I don't like that he has done.
Right.
And that is our right as Americans
Mhm.
to be able to disagree with what elected officials do
I don't.
and have a right to opinion on it, but not to sit there and just bash the other person because they have
Exactly.
an opposite opinion what you have.
Mhm.
Yes. And that's not how we should be functioning as a society at all.
Right.
No. And here's the thing, you guys. For those of you watching our show this morning, I really want to lean in and help you guys understand what leadership really looks like. Just because you don't agree with every single thing,
Yes.
and this doesn't matter. This can be a manager. This can be someone in government. This can be your boss. This can be, it doesn't matter, regardless, or a leader in your home, right? Because if you are married,
Mhm.
the husband is supposed to be the leader of that household, right?
It's true. Yeah.
So
As cultural standings, yes.
Yeah.
Is it? No, it shouldn't be.
it
It's
should
actually
be a teamwork. It's a
team.
co-equal, right? But you still lead the children, right? But here's the thing: you don't always have to agree
Right.
with the leaders in your life,
Yeah.
right?
God,
With
your life-
every single
Your
thing.
life would be boring.
It would be very boring. And so let me go back to a story. My being in network marketing and direct sales, and obviously, now being a transformation coach, and working with a company with trading and being able to lead that team. I mean, there's a lot going on in leadership, but do I agree with every single leader that I listen to? No, right? You have to also be a leader to make your own decision and have discernment on what you're going to listen to and what you're not. And I've hired 3 coaches in 15 years. Amazing, amazing people. I absolutely think the world of them. Now, did I agree 100% with every single thing that they said? Every single thing that they coached us on? No, not every single thing. There was a lot I didn't agree with, but you pick the things that you do agree with and you're like, wow, that's great. And you move forward with it and then you get results. You don't always have to agree 100%, but then you don't have to be mean about it, right?
Right.
There, you can take it in, right? And I remember one of my coaches, she would stand up on stage. I've been to over 60 of her live training events. It was insane. And there was a few things that I disagree with. And she would stand there and she'd say, you don't have to agree with everything that I say.
Right.
And I love that stance. I loved it. You don't have to agree with everything that I say. But if you can just take one thing and apply it to your life and your business, you will get massive results.
Exactly.
And I took that and went, you know what? That's true, authentic leadership.
Exactly.
And really sharing your story and getting it out there. And, I know for me, I was very vulnerable. I mean, I wrote a book, and my story's out there. It's on my website too, like the mini version.
Yeah.
But Because that's true, authentic leadership.
Mhm.
The reality is if you say, oh, I grew up perfect and everything was perfect and everything was great, and you're walking around with your, nose in the air, do you really want to follow that?
No.
And that's not anybody else is attracted to, is when you think you're
Right.
holier than thou or muddier than thou. No.
Yeah.
And I always live by be the change you want to see in the world, be the difference.
Yeah.
And those are the people that other people are drawn to. And that's who I want to follow. That's who I support. That's who I want to elect. So, and that's who I look for in an employer. Somebody who's trying to make the difference, somebody who's trying to be the change, somebody who's trying to make that difference, not just for people around them, but, in their own lives as well. So
Yeah.
that's what makes great leadership.
You also have to lead by example in your home.
Mhm.
I know everybody's families are different. I'm a single mom. Well, yeah, I'm a single mom in my own home, running my own home with my 3 kids, soon to be 2, because my oldest is getting married.
Yes, that's awesome.
And he bought his first house at 19.
That is amazing.
Okay. I would have to say I led him pretty well.
Yes. For him to be
Taught him
self-sufficient, yes.
pretty well.
Yes.
So the results must speak for themselves. And, when you are leading a household, regardless of who's in your home, your results speak for themselves. And when that happens, that person's a true leader. That person knows what they're doing. Now, will they make mistakes along the way? Absolutely. You know what I mean? That just happens. Kids make mistakes. They're going to make their own choices. Why? Because then you're developing them into leaders. So, like for me, I allow my kids to make some decisions. I'll give them choices. Like, did you ever do that
Yes.
growing up? Like, okay, do you want, and you're supposed to give them 2.
Yes.
So they, 2
Yep,
choices,
Yep.
right? So do you want even something as simple as, do you want chicken or hot dogs?
Yes.
Okay, for lunch. Like, you know
Not
what
in
I
my
mean?
What I make is what you're eating.
Oh, this is what you're having. That's it.
That's it. That's what I do.
Okay, that is real, I don't know.
That's
Good
how.
leadership.
That is
Good
how.
leadership's good. That's
That's
like
how
a-
I was raised
Yeah.
with my
Yeah.
parents. That was the way it was in my whole family. We had family get-togethers. What was made on that grill or
You're
that
gonna eat
stove,
it, right?
That's what you're eating. If you
So-
don't eat it, you're hungry. Sucks to be you.
So there are certain times where I do that, right? Like if I have dinner planned, this is what we're doing, right?
Mhm.
Then that's different. But
Yeah.
there are times where I'll give, like for lunch,
Mhm.
do you guys want chicken or do you want hot dogs? Or whatever, like giving
Well,
them
yeah,
that choice.
Yeah, before
Or-
you make it.
Right, exactly. So I think that certain circumstances,
Mhm.
that makes sense because I've done that too. Because, we're not having a buffet, right? It's not Angie's restaurant,
Yeah.
or mom's restaurant in that case,
And my
right?
daughter's awesome for that. I don't want this. I'm sorry. It's what you're having.
Right.
Exactly.
Because,
You have a choice.
So,
as Rachel knows, I'm a single dad of 2.
yep,
We have shared custody with their mom.
yep.
And, a good example that with parenting and leadership coming from the home happened actually last night in my house.
Okay.
We got home late for soccer practice and we already had dinner. So I said, yeah, we can have snacks.
Okay.
So my daughter wanted cookies and milk. Not a problem. There you go. My son wanted a drumstick. Wanted the drumstick ice cream cones.
Yeah.
So as the night goes on, we're sitting there doing stuff and I'm taking care of things on my end. They're playing on their phones and tablets. And next thing I hear my daughter having a fit.
Okay.
Daddy, William drank my milk.
Uh-oh.
So, okay. So I sit there, I said,
I
buddy,
can see
did you drink her milk?
Yeah.
No. I said, well, she didn't drink it. I didn't drink it. And the dog definitely did not drink it because it's not laying on the floor. And he just got that look of fear
Uh-huh.
because he's been caught.
Yep,
And I said, hey, number one, we don't lie.
Mhm.
yep.
You did it. You
100%.
own it.
Yes.
I said, now
Now
you just
take
lost your
responsibility. Yeah.
lost your tablet. And he gave me that puppy dog sad look. I said, I don't care. You lied. We don't lie. Well, then he goes, but I've heard you tell lies in the past. I said, well, not really. I said, some things are not other people's business.
Right.
Okay.
And the example he was getting at was I had told somebody that, no, we weren't doing anything this weekend.
Oh, okay.
And we actually did have plans because I didn't want that other person showing up there.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's a different story.
Yes.
But he saw that
That's-
as a lie,
Yeah.
which is a good thing. But,
yeah.
and I had to explain that to him, like, look, that wasn't a lie. it was not telling the truth.
Mhm.
I said, but there was a reason behind it.
Sure. But
You know,
that's
sometimes you do
different.
have,
yeah. That's
but
what-
as a child, he saw that as a lie
yeah.
because I told him we don't lie.
He
Yes.
looked at it like, well, you hid that from me, Dad.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
So you're right. So that is when you're talking about leadership at home and leading by example. I guess that goes
Right.
hand in hand with it as well. Children are watching; they do watch, and they
Oh.
do see every
Mhm.
single
Every
thing,
single
that,
thing
you
that you do.
Yes. So when we're talking about leading by example, it even starts at the home.
They
Yes.
see your mistakes.
Yep.
They see your wins.
Yep.
They see everything. You know, I remember my kids will tell you in the past I was a yeller when they were younger. Like, man, my anxiety was like ridiculous. I've grown so much from that. Like my oldest will tell you, oh my gosh, I'm so glad she wasn't the mom she was, 10 years ago. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
and we all grow. And I think, but that's again, I believe that's true authentic leadership. Because again, these are my mistakes. And then you can show or prove that you've grown from those mistakes.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like that is what authentic
Authentic
leadership
leadership.
is. And
Great leaders are not born.
Yes.
right. And
they
leaders make
grow.
mistakes.
They
and grow
grow
from
their life actions. They become
Experiences, yeah.
they become great leaders because they've learned through life.
Exactly.
I mean, have I lived an excellent life? No, I've made mistakes. I've
Mhm.
I've done things that have had good circumstances. I have done things that had a bad circumstance, and
Sure.
I made some poor life choices in my life.
Mhm.
I paid that consequence.
Exactly.
However, I learned from that and grew on that experience.
Exactly.
Not to do that
hit the nail on
again.
the head. Yep.
To grow.
Exactly.
And okay, and then even certain things when you do make a bad mistake and you have a consequence, whether minor or severe, in that end of it, you learn things from another person's point of view on something.
Mhm.
And then you can learn from them and grow from them and then, get back on that right track. Like
Yep.
you always said, your life is never a straight line. There's
Right.
always ups and downs. There's twists, curves, flip-flops, everything. And so everything that is handed to you is handed to you for a reason.
Mhm.
Right.
I mean, God has a definite point of view in everybody's life.
Yeah.
Sure.
One great incident was, and a fellow firefighter and I talked about this one day because a call kind of bothered us. We had a fatal vehicle accident
Okay.
at 2:00 in the morning. What put these
Ooh.
two people on this highway at 2:00 in the morning? Here we had one person that was taking care of their spouse that was in the assisted living center,
Okay.
went there every night and took dinner to their spouse every night for the past 5 years. They were
Oh.
coming home from seeing their spouse
Mhm.
when this person had a bad experience with whatever they were going through, was intoxicated, flying up a road to have a deer come out in front of them, hit the deer, avoid them, and hit this other person head on and kill this person. So, we had the discussion on it and we sat down and said, upstairs, the big guy has a black book.
Yes.
That has all of our names on it with a
Yeah.
date and time. We do not control that date and time.
No.
But what we do from this time until that time is what proves who we are.
Amen.
Right.
Exactly. He knows your numbers of the hairs in your head. That's what it is.
Mhm.
So he
Mhm.
knows how you will die, when you will die. And what has always been said and what I've always been taught is how you're going to live your life,
Exactly.
who you're going to affect, whose lives are you going to affect.
And don't live your life with just a dash in between.
Mhm.
Right.
Make a difference.
Be the change, make the
Mhm.
difference. Be the change you want to see in the world. So
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Especially if I look at stuff today with everything that's been going on within our state, there's things that I have done during this to help other people out and to help, in my opinion, of what I feel is right for the people of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
But I never thought I'd do a day in my life. I didn't think I'd be spending countless hours at the state capitol knocking on doors for
Right.
other people.
Yep.
You
It's
know,
interesting.
I would never have
Spending
thought
time-
of that,
Spending time at the Capitol, spending time with senators.
Yeah,
State
I never.
reps.
You would have told me this 10 years ago. I've been like, yeah,
Yeah, right.
right.
Like that's not
Me,
my
no, but you know what? I feel that the people in our state need a voice
Yeah.
that they're not getting. Now they are getting it from certain people,
Sure.
but some of these people aren't getting that voice from their people.
Yes.
So they need that voice down here going to their person's door saying, look, your people are not happy.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I mean, I actually had that discussion with my local rep from home.
Okay.
Mhm.
I said, hey, there is an important piece of documentation sitting in this rep's office that you have not signed.
Mhm.
Yeah, we know this is your last term. You're not coming back.
Yeah.
But people in this capital and people at home think you're riding the waves.
Mhm.
I said, you're not done until you're done. I said, well, I haven't read it yet. I said, well, then you need to go read it.
Mhm.
And if you agree with it, which most of the people in your district agree with, you need to go sign it.
Exactly.
The next day he signed it.
See?
Nice.
Yeah.
So that's an
you can't be
example.
afraid of those people.
Right. And that's an example of leadership.
Mhm.
You know, you can't be afraid of other people that maybe you're higher up, because that doesn't mean that they're a real leader. It doesn't mean that they are a true, authentic leader,
Exactly.
right?
They just happen to have a position.
Just
Exactly.
because they have that title in
Yes.
front of their name does not make them any different than you.
Exactly.
We all go to the bathroom the same way.
Or
Well,
as
some
I
of
used
us. Some of us.
Yes. And actually, I was telling my husband, as soon as you leave that workplace or where you are,
Mhm.
that person is just like you. They don't have a title. They have nothing. They're a regular person just like you. So
Yeah.
just because they have a title behind their name doesn't make them a good leader.
Right.
What makes them a good leader is the characteristics and the qualities that they possess.
Exactly.
And one of the greatest things, and this comes from my fire service experience,
Okay.
one of the greatest things I was ever taught was you respect the title, you respect the office.
Mhm.
You don't have to respect the person,
Right.
but you respect that title in front of their name.
Exactly.
So whether they're governor so-and-so or they're representative
Oh.
so-and-so, you respect, well,
Oh, no,
I'm
anybody
not saying disrespect that office.
Yeah.
Right.
You can disrespect that person
Right.
because they're not doing their job.
Yeah.
But,
now we can
but
pause
if
on a
you have to
tangent.
talk to them, you
Yeah.
do not talk to them
Yeah.
as, you know, I hate you, I don't like everything you do. Okay, Mr. Governor,
Yes.
you know, I disagree with what you're doing. This is why I disagree with it.
Mhm.
And if he
There's
is,
a way to do it.
and if he is a true
And-
leader and wants to work for the people, he's not going to come condescending on you and call you cowards.
He will take a
or
step
anything
back
else.
and he will
Yeah.
list, he or
Yeah.
she, because there are
He
some
or she,
women,
yes,
if they're
will listen
governors,
to you.
will listen to you. Right. They will take it in. They'll take that into account.
Exactly.
Right. That's true leadership.
Or they'll
Mhm.
make themselves available
Yes.
for their constituents.
Yeah, I've always said that, you know, I kind of joked around, you know, if I was ever in a position like that, I would have an open door policy. I have that in my stuff with Civil War and fire. I have an open door policy.
Mhm.
If I'm available to talk to you and you just so happen to be there,
Mhm.
you need to talk, come on in, sit down, talk, close the door. You know, as long as I don't, if they look, okay, I have an appointment in 15 minutes, but come in, we'll talk, and then you got 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So you need to make time for the people that have questions or want to speak to you. So
Exactly.
I've always lived
Yeah.
that open door policy.
And that's exactly what it is. And I mean, just to go back to my profession as well, parents expect that of teachers.
Right.
So I was very open and honest with them. And if they had any questions or anything, I always had that open door policy.
Mhm.
Come on in. You can schedule a conference with me. We'll do a phone conference, whatever you need in order to get a problem resolved. And that's what
Communication.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
I was just about to say.
I
that's what
can't
makes for
stress
great
it enough,
communication.
man. When people don't communicate,
Mhm.
that makes my skin crawl.
That is my
Yes.
number one pet peeve.
Communicate with me.
Yes.
You know, if there's a problem, communicate.
Mhm.
Let's work it through.
Yeah.
Let's work it out. You know, that drives me crazy more than anything, I think, is that
Mhm.
communication piece. And I think it's because of, you know, past experiences, right? In a lot of different areas of my life. And I'm like, that's all you need to do.
Yeah.
That's it. Let's
Exactly.
talk. Let's communicate.
And that's
Let's move
one of my
forward.
biggest pet peeves is like, especially when I need to know how many people are going to be at, let's just say, Civil War event.
Right.
Okay.
So I have an accurate count of what I need to have set up. And when these people don't answer my emails or my phone calls,
Right.
it's like, no, I need to talk to you. I'm not just doing this to
Yes.
bug you. I have a role I play that I need to know. You know, and one of the things, like, one of my pet peeves is, you know, I coach Little League Baseball.
Okay.
You know,
Oh, that's awesome.
you know, I coach, you know, that 8-year-old, 7-year-old bracket.
Yeah.
But
God bless you.
parents that don't respond when we have a game on Thursday.
Right.
When on Monday I send out, I use an app for baseball.
Yeah.
So all the parents are in there. It can go right. Instead of sending your email, yep. It's right. They're right there. Game is on Thursday at 6. Kids need to be there at 5:15.
Okay.
Right.
And they all click, yep. And you're going to get the few they don't check it. I'm like, look, I need to know if your kid's coming because I have a lineup
Yes.
that I have to
Right.
make prior to the game. And then you got the parents that bring their kids there at 5:45, 10:06. Like, going,
You're
really?
like, there's no time
Like,
to warm
I'm
up.
sitting there going, okay, they're not coming. You know,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
they're here. Okay, well, hey, I got a new lineup there. You know,
Yeah.
and it's like, I understand, like, we have some kids that play fall ball or they travel ball and then they play regular town league.
Mhm.
So, but those parents are awesome because they'll be like, hey, he has practice. He is coming. Okay, great. He's been warmed up. So, you know, communication with no matter who it is key.
Right, exactly, yes. And when you're talking about communication, it's talking about that is the answer to everything. If you don't have open communication, if you're not communicating effectively, so many misunderstandings can occur. And that is where the
Mhm.
differences and problems arise.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is when communication is not effective.
And
That's where it breaks down.
and that's like, you know, from talking to me quite a bit, I hate texting.
Yes.
Mhm.
I'd much rather be on the phone
Phone,
because you
yeah.
can tell the person's tone of voice.
Yes.
You
can't
don't
tell.
texting,
Yeah.
you can't tell.
That's why I call her all the
Yes.
time.
Mhm.
Because you can't understand the person's
I
feelings
can't
behind a text.
That's like
And
she'll
texting,
text me
it
and say,
drives me crazy.
hey, this is the, and I'll just call
Yes,
because I want to discuss it instead of
exactly.
because yeah,
It's true.
I am a person-to-person communicator.
Yes.
Yes, I'll answer emails. Yes, I'll answer text, but to get the point across or not to sound condescending or how
Yeah.
you want to discuss something with somebody,
Mhm.
it is that personal contact of voice.
Exactly.
Text messaging that is
Text
great, but I
messaging,
hate it.
Messenger, Facebook Messenger, emails. It's like, just pick up the phone.
And talk. to
And
her.
nowadays we got like Facebook audio.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Yeah,
It's those chat rooms that you have on top of the screen there. The chat.
Yeah.
Like the meeting rooms that you can do, like the Zoom.
Right. Or even the audio. You can
Yeah.
actually talk to them on the phone without having their phone number.
I mean, and
Yeah.
here's an
Makes things
example of a great leader
Yes.
that's stuck in communication. One of my favorite people was General George Patton.
Okay.
The man was an awesome tactician. He was a great leader. He sucked at communication because he would just say, okay, you're doing this, this, and this with no explanation. I want it done now. Go get it done.
Mm-hmm.
And now he got results with that,
Yes.
but then he had problems communicating with people higher above him, which got him in trouble.
Okay.
You know, so great leader. I mean, he did a great number of great things for the United States in World War II.
Mm-hmm.
But it also got him in trouble because he couldn't communicate properly with his upper echelon.
Yeah.
All right. But when we're talking about, sorry, I was going to take over. So when we're talking about being a leader, think of how you are in your everyday life. So think about how people are viewing you. Are people viewing you as a leader? What qualities do you possess? Are they going to be drawn to you? That's basically what we're trying to say. Be the difference, be the change.
And if you're not a leader now and you want to be a leader, you want to grow in your experience, the best thing I was ever taught was from one of my good friends that was a captain while I was just a firefighter.
Mm-hmm.
Said, don't say, hey, you're doing this wrong, or you need to do it this way, or we should be doing it this way. Ask, why do we do it this way? Why are you doing it that way? Why can't we do it this way?
Right. I
Because
agree with that.
they might have been doing it this way for years,
Mhm.
and that's just the mindset they've been stuck in.
Sure.
But you ask why, and they can explain to you why. Then you can look back and say, okay, well, have you ever thought of doing it this way?
Mm-hmm.
You know, this would make
I
it
like
better. Could this
That's good.
be a better idea? Because
Yeah.
it would be cost saving. It would, I mean, any realm, cost saving, you know, life saving, you know, time saving, you know, equipment saving. So, you know, don't tell people that they're doing it wrong.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, thank you.
Ask why. Even as a
Yes.
leader, when you see somebody, you know, I had a boss that was like this, and that's why I liked him. You'd be doing something, and he'd be like, "Why are you doing it that way?"
Mhm.
Well, because that's the way I was taught. Well, that's not the way you should actually be doing it. This is the way we prefer to do it. But then I said to him, I said, well, you know what? This does seem a little easier I said, I'll try your way. You
Yeah.
know, let's sit down here and try both ways and see which way works better.
Exactly. Yeah.
So he was a
Or
great leader for
sometimes
that.
you can find a common ground too,
Mhm.
and kind of go in the middle where you're like, wait a second, this is actually better, and you can take two ideas and combine them. I mean, there are situations where I know I personally have been in situations like that too. So communication.
Mhm.
Exactly. That's what we keep stressing. Communication is key.
Yes.
So do we have anything on the boards of any questions or anything, guys? Do you see anything? I can't
I
see from
don't
back
see.
here.
I
I'm
don't see
blinded by the light.
questions. I see blinded by the light. Sorry, I see.
Woo!
Well,
I
that's
break out
worse.
into oh.
That's
Wait, is that
worse.
better?
Yes, there we go.
Hold on a
Now
minute.
I see a circle of lights. In my
Humor
that
on the
better?
side of-
Yes.
So that ring light blinds everybody, including myself.
I
I've
love
already,
LEDs.
I've already like turned it on and I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, you know, like
See, I love LEDs. Like I have LED headlights I put in my vehicle, and people hate me because they're always flashing me. It's like, no, here, let me show you my high beam.
Yeah.
one of these days I'm gonna get a big one that like stands up like behind.
There you go.
Mhm.
That would work.
Yeah. That one was like $14 on
I
Amazon.
think you have a couple comments on your.
I do. We have some. I'm looking over here too because I can see it on StreamYard.
Oh, okay.
I
didn't know where to look.
although I can
Yeah.
actually no, I'm not gonna grab my phone. Okay, we don't really have many comments. We have a lot
Okay.
of people saying hi. I already read David's. Chris Moyer. Oh, that's your
Yeah, my
brother-in-law.
brother-in-law. Hi, Chris.
He said this is a great point. People should respect other people. Bosses and people of higher positions will earn greater respect with proper leadership. I love that.
Exactly.
Great.
And that's fact.
Great sentiment,
I-
Chris.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't have a lot of comments. We had a lot of listeners today, though. It looked like we had
Awesome.
people kind of hopping on and off, but then again, I can't see where everybody is because we're streaming.
Chris said something
Great
again.
points about having an open mind. Communicating with each other and leadership can be learned and is earned. Yeah.
Exactly.
And I see
Chris.
Scott Vermeulen's watching.
Ah,
Yeah, I see your hubby's on.
Hi, hubby. Love you.
All right. I can never seem to get this at only 30 minutes or
Yes.
40 minutes.
We always seem to go long.
52 minutes.
Oh my gosh. So when we're talking
Wow.
about
People had to listen to us for 52 minutes.
God bless all of you.
For those of you that actually watched our entire show, God bless you.
We go
Thank
off
you.
on different tangents every now and again. We're good.
And thank you for doing that because that shows dedication and learning and really wanting to grow. So
Exactly.
I'm really
It was a good show.
I'm
Scott.
excited. It was great. I was
Thank
excited.
you guys for
This
having
is-
me on. You know, it was
You're very welcome. I'm glad you were able to come on our
Yes.
show. So thank you for coming.
So guess what?
Yeah.
My son doesn't have the outro yet.
Oh no. So we're gonna play the
It
intro for the
rained
outro.
for 2 days. He had a day and a half off,
Okay.
and he still didn't get it done. You know, I love him to death.
that's where you need to step up as that leader and say, hey, I
I
need this project
did.
done.
See?
I did. You know what?
Yeah.
If there comes
I
a
didn't hear her.
difference when you are communicating with your 19-year-old
Yeah.
son who is buying a
I
house,
was planning a wedding. Yeah, yeah.
working
He has a lot on his
full-time.
plate.
He'll get it. He'll get it done. At least we have an intro. It's
That's
good.
Just play it for
But-
the outro. We're good.
What's that?
Just play it in the outro again. like
Should we
last
play it
week.
for the outro? Do you guys want to see the new, brand new intro that we played for the first time last week?
I think they'll like that.
Yeah, so for those that didn't see it in the very beginning, I'll go ahead and play it. My son, Ethan, he's 19 years old. He has a full-time job and he works part-time building websites. In fact, one of the people that he's built a website for is on this feed right now. Well, or was. I saw him hop on. He said hello from Indianapolis. Christopher Parrish. He is a ministry, Christian ministry.
Awesome.
And it's amazing. Ethan did an incredible job on his website. He built my website and he does, videos and takes photos and all kinds of stuff, does edits. So he does an incredible job. So if anybody would need services like that, he would be your person. I'm mom, so I'm going to be last. That's kind of how that works in this house. If he's getting paid for it, he's on it.
Down at the bottom here.
Yeah, she's down there somewhere at the bottom. Anyway, you guys, thank you for watching. I'm Angela Marie, transformation coach, founder of findyourpurposeandshine.com. And this is Angela Marie in the morning, live 8:45 every Wednesday, Eastern Standard Time. This is my brand new co-host,
Hi guys.
Rachel
Again.
Vermeulen. I got
Said
it.
it right again.
Rachel
Yes.
Vermeulen.
She'll get better every week, guys.
I
promise.
will. And this is our special guest, Marcus Rydell. We will have him on, I think, as you know, every once in a while as a reoccurring guest. I'm very excited.
Keep an eye on this, guys. Keep your
an
eyes
eye on
on
him.
this guy. Yes, sorry, the words didn't come out right. But seriously, keep your eyes on this guy. You're going to hear a lot more about him and from him in the upcoming months. So definitely be paying attention, guys. You're going to want to hear more about him. And don't forget, be the change you wish to see in the world. Be the difference, guys.
See the change you want to see.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So have a wonderful day, guys. It was great chatting with you. And we will see you next week.
See you
Tune
guys
in.
soon. I'm going to play the intro for the outro so you guys can check
Watch
it
it.
out. All right, you guys have a great day. God
Take
bless
care,
you guys.
guys. God
Bye.
bless.